The heavy door burst open, then slammed shut right in front of him. A voice sharp with disdain cut through the air. "This place isn't for people like you." Jackson froze, caught between the weight of the words and the cold iron of silence. He stood there, awkward, and exposed his eyes, searching for a trace of kindness, but finding none. A guest passed by, lips curled into a mocking smile as if his presence were an offense. Another employee whispered, "Not even bothering to lower his voice, get him out quickly." The crowd flowed past, indifferent, as if he were invisible. And so he remained small, fragile, a solitary figure against the towering gates of grandeur. In that instant, the air thickened with injustice, and the listener's heart swelled with both anger and curiosity, desperate to know who this man really was. Jackson returned to the same door, but this time the image of him told another story. His shirt was faded, the color worn away by time and washing. It hung loose on his frame, almost too ordinary, too unremarkable for the grand entrance he was facing. In one hand he carried a golf club, its grip frayed the steel dull with years of use. The other hand clenched at his side, steady, determined. His hair was slightly disheveled, as if combed quickly without care, a small detail that betrayed the deliberate disguise. No one who looked at him in that moment would guess his truth. No one could have imagined that this unassuming man blending into the background like another passerby was in fact the CEO of the RUS conglomerate. A man whose decisions shaped the lives of thousands, whose name commanded respect in boardrooms far away. Yet here in this sanctuary of wealth and pretense he was stripped of recognition, left to stand as a stranger. That was the paradox. He carried into this place the powerful choosing to appear powerless. A man who could buy the building with a signature, now forced to see how people treated him without knowing his worth. It was not pride that brought him here, but suspicion. Whispers had reached him, rumors that his golf club had grown rotten, a place where arrogance thrived, and ordinary guests were dismissed like dirt beneath polished shoes. He had no intention of announcing who he was. The true test lay in silence, in humility, in becoming invisible. He would walk through those halls not as Jackson the magnate, but as Jackson the nobody. Each glance, each word, each act of service or refusal would reveal the truth he sought. And so he straightened his back, tightened his grip on the worn club, and stepped forward. The trial had begun, though only he knew it. The world inside the club was a different universe. Chandeliers glittered above like frozen stars, their crystals scattering light across red carpets that seemed too rich to be walked on. Every corner whispered of privileged polished brass-carved wood. Velvet-lined chairs where men in pressed suits leaned back with careless laughter. Their voices echoed with comfort, the kind that belongs to those who never question whether they belong. Waiters glided quickly from table to table, balancing glasses filled with deep red wine that shimmered as it caught the glow of the lights. Silver trays sparkled, carrying delicacies to people who hardly glanced at them before returning to their conversations. There. Laughter rose again, smooth and confident, wrapping the air in a sound that told Jackson exactly what this place thought of itself. Untouchable. Superior. And then there was him, his faded shirt, his old club, his slow steps. He moved differently, cautious, observant, while everyone else seemed to glide with ease. His eyes followed the chandeliers, the wineglasses, the velvet chairs, not with envy, but with calculation. He was taking in every detail, every gesture, every smirk that passed over him as though he were invisible. Invisible, that was the word. In this room, no one saw him. Not a single head turned as he entered. No greeting, no acknowledgement. He may as well have been a shadow slipping between the bright lights and rich fabrics. And yet, his silence, his stillness made the contrast sharper. It was not just the wealth around him, but the deliberate Absence of notice, the studied indifference that drew the line between them. The grand picture of luxury only sharpened his ordinariness, and his ordinariness exposed their arrogance. This was the beginning of the tension. The point where wealth and simplicity collided. The room glittered, the people shone, but Jackson's presence cut through like a hidden blade. The more they ignored him, the clearer the truth became. This was a stage set for exclusion, and he was stepping into its cruel play. Jackson moved with quiet intent, approaching one of the staff. His steps were measured, his smile polite, the kind of smile that seeks the smallest bridge of recognition. "Good afternoon," he offered gently, voice steady, but carrying a warmth that could not be mistaken. The man in uniform looked at him, eyes traveling slowly from head to toe. It was not curiosity, not even neutrality.